Okay, fantastic. And with that, I once more warmly welcome you to our webinar series over lunchtime once again, where we share kind of just basically brief parcels of knowledge in kind of a short 1 hour while people are having lunch, and so very, very efficient. We have been on a break, but we are very happy that today we are back with one of our most important topics, namely how to foster early career researchers in academia and how to best foster them. And today with us is Jacqueline Lessig-Olch. Oh, Olange. Okay, I practiced it before, but yeah, not enough apparently. And she has graduated in biochemistry at the University of Leipzig in 2002, and then has basically done her PhD in biochemistry and worked in the area of biochemistry and drug delivery until 2011, when she then moved to Nanyang Technical University in Singapore. So she also has some broad international experiences and knows the different university systems. To then come back to Germany and work as a scientific writing and research coordinator at the University Hospital in Gießen and Marburg. And then from 2014 to 2017, she has been a scientific project manager at the University of Oldenburg, and since 2017 has been managing director of the graduate academy, the Clausthal University of Technology. And one of the reasons why I'm now just kind of briefly listed all of this is to show you how vast her experience is in the academic system, basically from like all possible angles almost. And thus I think it's very interesting now that for the last couple of years, she has been, after all of the kind of practical experiences of what it means to move through the system, that she's responsible for the graduate academy and kind of building up a graduate academy at the Clausthal University. And as we all know, kind of doctoral training and fostering career development has been increasingly important, especially in the European academic system the last couple of years. And at the same time, it has fostered a wide variety of forms that these graduate schools and these career development trainings have taken. And now, I guess we have also reached a moment when we realize, okay, we seriously need to talk not just about doing all of that, but about best practices of how to do all of that and really figure out how we best foster the talent that we have in the system. And this is exactly what we're very happy to have Jacqueline with us today to kind of kick off a round of kind of a serious, intense discussion on this topic within Eurodoc and the broader community for the next couple of months. And since she has been, with all of her experiences, and especially also with the kind of specific program that she has been fostering at the Clausthal University of Technology, and we are very happy and very curious to hear what her learnings and what her best practices are, so we can spark a really sustained discussion over the coming month. So from my side and Sebastian's side, very warm welcome, Jacqueline, and thank you so much to agreeing for like sharing with us kind of your learnings from all of like your vast experience on different positions within the system, but then also from the other side on seeing how to best foster the talent and take care of it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, dear Hannah, for the nice invitation and your kind introduction. And hello and a warm welcome also from my side to all of you. Nice to meet you here, and I hope I can give you some inspiration with my experiment, what I'm doing in Clausthal, and showing some results, what we gained. As Hannah already said, I have experience 10 years in research. I was a scientist by myself, up to the phase of a research group leader. And right now I'm nearly working 10 years in academic personnel development. So I have experience from both sides of the view, and I have the intrinsic view of the system. And I have experience in an international environment and in the German environment. So I'm very grateful to be here. And today I want to open a perspective on targeted promotion of young talent for demand-oriented career development. Clausthal University of Technology is very small. I will later give you a short introduction to it. And our target group is very diverse. So for us, it is most important to have a holistic view on career development and to address individual needs and offer voluntary and flexible modules. Before we start, I would like to draw an overview what we are going to address in this lunchtime meeting. I want to give you a short introduction on the university with some facts so that you can have an idea in what kind of setting we are located and why we are doing things, how we are doing them. I will explain to you what is our target group, because to me this is very important to understand our target group and the characteristics of them and the needs of them, and what are our goals of our work. Later, I will present you our so far developed system of support for young talents, what is, of course, a dynamic system and will be developed further in the future. And at the end, I will be super happy to answer your questions and to discuss with you. So, okay, then let me start to introduce Clausthal University of Technology. As I said, Clausthal is a very small place. It is located in the most northern mountain range in Germany, the so-called Harz Mountains. And here in the picture, you can see the main building of the university. The university is nearly 250 years old. In the next 2 years, we will celebrate our 250 years anniversary. I told you we are located in a mountain range, and the foundation of the university also goes back to the mining history. It was founded in 1775 as a montanistic place of education. In 1810, it became a mining school for the training of foremen and officers. And in 1864, it became the Mining Academy Clausthal, the so-called Bergakademie Clausthal. And in that time, it gained international importance as one of the leading training centers for mining and metallurgy. In the 1960s, there was a significant expansion of study programs, for example, for mechanical engineering, process engineering, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and so on. So that in 1968, it became the Clausthal University of Technology. Currently, there are around 3,700 students, whereas 25% of them are female. This is a bit small number. There is a high number of international students. We have around 50% of international students. We are having on top 600 PhD students, and around 25% of them also have international background. Clausthal University of Technology has about 1,200 staff employed, and among them around 80 professors. The university is organized in 3 faculties: the Faculty of Natural and Material Sciences, the Faculty of Energy and Economic Sciences, and the Faculty of Mathematics, Computer Science, and Mechanical Engineering. And in the last years, the university has built a research profile. This is within the framework of the changing educational system in Germany. And this research profile is focusing on circular economy with 4 research areas. The first area is sustainable energy systems, on how to ensure a reliable supply of energy on the basis of fluctuating renewable resources. The second research field is raw material supply and resource efficiency, focusing on major challenges of primary raw materials and recycling. And the third one is sustainable materials and processes. It focuses on materials research and its application in manufacturing process. The fourth one is a gap around it. It's the digitalization for sustainable society. Sorry that this slide is in German. I didn't have time to change it, but I think you understand it as well. Yeah. This was a short excursion to the history of the university and to some facts, that you have a background of our setting. Now I would like to draw your attention on our ideas how to promote young talents. And first of all, I want to explain you what are our goals and who is the target group. So what are our goals? The promotion of young talent at Clausthal University of Technology considers all career stages and phases. And this is very important to say. We want to have a holistic perspective, and we aim to cover the specific needs of each of the persons with a targeted voluntary offer in order to actively develop the careers. This is our first goal, or the most important goal. And here the most important aspects are voluntariness and flexibility, whereby the research project, no matter if the people are PhD students or postdoctoral researchers, always remains the core of the actual task of the researcher. So our goal is to especially promote young scientists in an early career phase and at phase transitions. Phases, for example, between PhD and postdoc, and between professor, or for example, the phase when the researcher is going out of the university, leaving the university. And our special focus is the promotion of academic career. So who is our target group? We want to support in the R1 phase. This is the first stage researcher. This means up to the PhD point, PhD students, and a career entry if the person is leaving the university, or the transition phase to the R2 step. We want to support in the R2 and R3 phases, what means recognized and established researchers. These people are PhD holders or equivalent who are not yet fully independent, as well as researchers who have developed a level of independence already. And we want to support as well in the R4 stage, what means leading researchers. Mostly these people are professors already, especially in the first phase. Yeah, with the introduction of the tenure professorship as a replacement for junior professorships in Germany, especially in Clausthal, we want to open a future perspective and especially establishing more attractive options. So I want to explain these career phases and profiles a bit more in detail, that you can understand what is the focus of our work. In order to arrange for our concept, focusing on the specific needs of our target group, it is important to understand who exactly is our target group. So I want to give you a bit more details concerning to that, and I want to explain the profiles of the people, addressing on the one hand the career phases, and on the other hand the competences which are needed. I have told you about these 4 stages, or 1, 2, 3, and 4, representing all one important career phase in the academic career on the way to be a professor. And of course, in every step in this way, the way out of the academic career will be also considered. So our one phase, this is the first stage researcher, or also PhD phase called, is characterized by supervised research. I don't know in which step you are, but probably most of you are PhD students and maybe will be in this phase. The person is supposed to learn the basics of scientific work, including methods and techniques. And for all first stage researchers, it can be super helpful to get already information about career options, to get an orientation what comes after the PhD. The second phase, recognized researcher or postdoc phase. There in the first years, mostly 1 to 3 years after the PhD, they are in an orientation phase related to their career. They will start to make innovative contributions to research and overtake first responsibility for their own research as well as for their own career. And finally, should also understand if they want to follow the academic career phase. Therefore, it's called orientation phase, or if they want to leave academia. And this decision should be made considering their own whole situation. This phase generally provides most of the young scientists with a better understanding of the academic career and all its changes and challenges, besides innovation and freedom of research. So they can, in most of the cases, understand better if an academic future is suitable for them, and especially for their own lifestyle. If they decide for an academic career, it is now time for an intensive professional development. Researcher in the R3 phase, also called PostDoc2 or established researcher. These are people who have made already the decision for an academic career, and they are developing academic independence and their own reputation. They take on leadership roles, especially in projects, but also in publications, what means they will be first author or senior author in publications, and they should follow up their professional career development. Yeah, and in the leading researcher or 4 phase, these researchers already reached this aim to be a professor. They have made already substantial research contributions, developed strategic visions for the research field, and gained international reputation. And in the most of the cases, they are very good leaders with team competences and are mentors of other researchers. But nevertheless, even for such researchers, from time to time, another training or coaching related, for example, to conflict management, leadership, or supervision can be very meaningful. I don't know the situation in other European countries, but in Germany, supervision is a very crucial point, especially for PhD students. Later in the presentation, I will show you examples how we address these phases, their characteristics, and their needs. But before, I want additionally show you that it's also good to know the phases of the PhD studies. As a PhD students have been our first target group. When we started our work here in Clausthal, we started to address PhD students as our first target group and just later opened for the other target groups. In Clausthal, PhD is considered having 4 phases. Phase 1, the so-called orientation phase, there is it's very important to get information with the whole process of performing a PhD. For example, the administrative processes, the documents, contact persons, or requirements of a PhD. The supervision agreement and, for example, personal curriculum are supposed to be prepared. And it can be interesting to get to know other PhD students, to hear impressions or experiences as well. To address this, we are arranging onboarding events, for example, welcome workshops, where the whole PhD process will be presented, and all important contact persons from the administration and other organization of Clausthal University of Technology who are offering service to PhD students will be there and introduce themselves. That new PhD students can understand who are the person in charge. And at the end, there will be a get-together that more experienced PhD students will overcome newcomers and share experiences. Phase 2 is the time to become more familiar with their own research topic, to start the literature research, write the expose, and start trainings preparing for their own research. Basics as a good scientific practice, for example, literature research, project management, or generally scientific methods and techniques can be addressed here. The phase 3 is the main phase of a PhD and focuses on the research project. And this is the longest phase and mostly very intensive phase. Here, trainings related to scientific methods can be interesting. Teaching can be a subject, as some PhD students are active in teaching as well. Scientific writing and publishing and presenting are the main topics we suggest to learn, especially more in our courses and seminars and workshops we offer exactly for this group of researchers. In parallel, workshops or coachings or events addressing career decision and career development. Especially at this phase of the PhD, the last phase is coming soon, and at the last phase, the dissertation or so-called dissertation is related to the writing process. Most of the PhD students write their thesis at the end of the doctorate project, where all experimental work is already finished, and interesting further trainings can address the future exam, for example, working on the presentation style. And additionally, it is now time to think about the own career development. Yeah, knowing all these phases of research career, I want to summarize our target group and show you the career path at Clausthal University of Technology. Most of the young researchers come to us as a student, for example, bachelor or master student or PhD student, and follow the first postdoc phase, what can be financially supported by the government, or as a scholarship for third-party funding. And after 1 to 3 years, they start to work as a postdoctoral researcher. Then there should be the decision done for an academic career or the way out of the university. And if the person wants to follow the academic career path, there are 3 options, which are shown here. There's the classic habilitation in Germany. There is an option of young research group leader positions, Nachwuchsgruppenleitung, or the option junior professor with tenure track. All these qualify for the full professorship later. So right now we know our target group, we know how the target group is characterized, and what are the needs of the target groups. Now we are knowing the setting. I would like to follow up to show you what we are doing and how do we support our young talent in Clausthal, related especially to these specific needs, what I just have shown you before. Here's a short history, how we started in 2017 in Clausthal, step by step, by founding the Graduate Academy, by offering first trainings, especially for PhD students, for basic scientific work, project management, and some onboarding events in 2018. At the same time, we wrote our personal development plan, what was the basis later to apply for our tenure track funding at the German government. In 2020, we provided a PhD guide, doing a PhD in Clausthal, what is a kind of onboarding measure to welcome our new PhDs and to give them a guideline on the hand to find support, how to perform a PhD in Clausthal. We started to support with doctoral degree scholarships for people who didn't have support to finalize the PhD studies. And in 2021, we had the first exclusive offers for postdoctoral researchers with topics like individual career coaching or a workshop related to academic portfolio, grant application, and so on. And from 2022 onwards, we are offering our certificate, what I want to introduce also later a bit more detail to you. Yeah, we are also accompanying research by arranging structured PhD programs. The structure of support. We have the Graduate Academy, as I already have mentioned. Graduate Academy is focusing more or less on interdisciplinary qualification, the so-called soft skills. We have the doctoral programs focusing on professional qualification, and we have faculties and institutes where the main work, the research project, is performed. Yeah, as you have learned from the last slides, Graduate Academy focuses on the interdisciplinary qualification, the so-called soft skills. And here you can see the several fields of action we are performing. Onboarding is a very important topic for us in order to get people more familiar with our system and to feel comfortable here in Clausthal. Another very important thing is our specific trainings to optimize competence, to develop competence. We are supporting in career decisions, in networking, and of course we have support with consulting and coaching service. Another very important thing is that we have to guarantee quality assurance in PhD processes. Here you can see examples on our fields of action, what we offer to our researchers. You see the different fields: onboarding, optimizing competences related to soft skills, programs and events for career development and career entry and networking. For onboarding measures, I can tell you, we have this welcome workshop, what I already have explained to you for PhD students, and the PhD guide also for PhD students. And for the R3 and R4 phase of research career, means newly appointed professors, we have a so-called Neuberufenen-Treffen. It is a welcome meeting and coaching offer for them. Related to competences, we have several trainings and we have a certificate program, which you can find here on these links. All trainings are open and free for all of our researchers and can later be compiled in the certificate program. Later I will explain a bit more in detail how we are arranging that. To make it easier for researchers to develop their career decision, which career path they want to choose, we offer programs, for example, consulting and individual coachings. We offer a mentoring program, especially for female scientists. As you have seen, we have only 25% of female researchers, so we want to especially support female researchers. We offer peer coaching programs and several career events and workshops related to career development. For networking, we also offer several events, for example, the Day of Young Scientists or the Clausthal Night of the Proms. This one I will later also show you a bit in more detail. So I will start to show you some examples in detail. This is the welcome meeting for our newly appointed professors. It's a very short meeting of just 1.5 to 2 hours. We have a presentation of the whole department of all presidency offices. We have a welcome by the president, and all newly appointed professors have the chance in 5 minutes just shortly present their vision or their ideas what they want to do in the next 5 years in Clausthal University of Technology related to the research, to young scientists and to teaching. And we have a kind of market of opportunities, what is very nice because we have a buffet around, a bit wine and beer around, so people can network together. And all departments and institutions present themselves, and newly appointed professors can, of course, ask questions and get into contact with these people who are in charge. Yeah, I have told you we have several training programs, and we compiled a certificate program out of it. We have 2 versions of our certificate program. We have a basis program called ProDocTUC, and we have a certificate program, ProDocTUC Plus. These programs compiling 3 modules related to different topics which are important to address during an academic career. So all researchers have the option to take part in this open and flexible training program, as I told you. All researchers of all career phases are welcome to attend. But if they are planning to arrange their future training program in a more structured way, we have these options of these 2 programs. Module 1 is related to fundamentals of scientific work. Module 2 is the personality and career development part, and Module 3 is the didactics part. If you don't have so much time, you can choose the basis program. It means you have to fulfill only 48 work units. 1 work unit corresponds to about 45 minutes in total. Each module will be with a scope of 16 units. If you calculate, this will be not so much. Per module, only 1 to 3 workshops, mostly. For the certificate program, ProDocTUC Plus, you have to work a bit more. There should be 144 work units with at least 48 units per module. And you have time over your whole PhD project or postdoc research phase to finalize this certificate program. And a recognition of external achievements is in principle also possible. Yeah, I think this is a very attractive way of showing professional training, especially for career entry, both for career in the academic path or also outside the academia. I want to show you these 3 modules a bit more in detail, that you can also understand what kind of topics we have as trainings. You see, especially for the fundamentals of scientific work, we are focusing on several subtopics like scientific writing and presentation, or scientific presenting, or honesty in science, or methodology in science. For the personality and career development, it's important, for example, leadership skills or conflict management. We have a special focus on academic career with topics like publication strategy or funding programs, and of course some events related to circular economy, as this is our specific research profile. The didactics part is offered by our Center of Higher Teaching, and all workshops they are offering are open as well for our researchers and can be compiled here in this program. So the program is very flexible and dynamic, and nearly everything is possible related to the needs of the researcher. So I told you related to career entry and career decision, we have several programs, and I want to present a few programs what we are offering here. One of them, as I told you, is a support or a special support for female scientists. You see the program of this mentoring called V-Mentoring. V is Wirtschaftswissenschaften, means economic science, and mentoring means all these technical fields, informatics and natural sciences. And as you have seen, the Technical University has a very low number of female leading researchers, and therefore we want to especially support them and make this number higher. This program is in collaboration with our gender officer. And therefore, we have decided this program to offer as an exclusive program for female researchers. The program is for 1 year. It has a frame with several workshops and with a lot of networking events that female scientists can also support each other. Yeah, another program is our peer coaching. This is open to all of our researchers, male and female. Here, small groups of young researchers are working in peer groups together and learn the method of collegial consulting. And they are benefiting from each other's expertise, from their experience and collaboration. And learn together. The framework program will give them some expertise about, for example, leadership, personal development, and strengths and communication. We are having a trainer who is accompanying these groups for around 9 months. And the group members benefit not only because of getting to know the new knowledge or strengthen their competence. They also benefit especially because of the interpersonal exchange and the mutual support and empowerment. I don't know how is it in your working environment, but in Clausthal, it's mostly like this, that PhD students working in an individual way, and they don't have so much contact with each other. Therefore, this kind of programs is a very big benefit for them. Yeah, we have another event, the so-called Clausthal Night of the Proms. It's a really celebratory event with wine, beer, and nice buffet, and it combines a kind of networking and also career decision. Our Clausthal Night of the Proms is an event where we invite our successful alumni and honor them with a silver PhD diploma certificate after 25 years of anniversary. And our young researchers attend this event as well, and later present in a kind of science slam style shortly their own research. And this gives an impression to our alumni what kind of research is performed nowadays in Clausthal, and allows to get in touch, ask questions, and discuss. And this is the aim of the event. We want both. We want alumni working in successfully different fields and young researchers to come together and to talk about career options in order to give young researchers an idea about potential career paths. We have performed this so far 2 times, and it was always a lot of fun to meet also experienced people and to talk with each other what kind of research is going on in Clausthal recently. Yeah, then I come to another networking option. This is the Day of Young Scientists. This is mostly organized by our young researchers themselves. So they are strengthening their competences in management and organization. They have the option to be very creative. And the last organizing team consisted of 4 doctoral students and 1 postdoctoral researcher. And they developed an event what had a keynote about career development and some parallel workshops related to topics which are interesting for young scientists. In this case, it was project management and writing your dissertation in 15 minutes a day. These were some very short workshops, like 1.5 to 2 hours. They prepared posters and awarded a poster prize, and the day was over by a small institute show. Institutes showed their work and the kind of techniques they are using, and by a nice small dinner. Yeah, I told you for us, the academic career is a special focus. This has 2 reasons, especially in Germany in the last years. Lots has changed in the university system, and we understand in our consultings that for a lot of young researchers, the academic career is not very clear. So we want to give more clearance, transparency, permeability in the academic career by designing this special program. You can see here for the target group R1, R2, there's a special career module related to academic career with specific trainings and specific individual career coachings, as well as a startup funding, what I want to show you later. And for the R3 and R4 phase, we have especially further training related to leadership in academia, because we think that these people start their leadership by leading small groups or their own research groups. So this kind of competence is one of the most important competence. Here I want to explain you this startup funding. This is one of the special offers what I before mentioned, and it's designed for interested people who want to follow the academic career. Currently we have this opening. It is the first time that we open this call, and it's a startup funding for young scientists and scholars in order to develop their scientific independence. And this one they have to perform by applying for a third-party funding. So it will give them the opportunity to develop their own research profile, and this will be the basis for the successful application for external funding. So the requirement is there is a financial support of 100,000 euros for up to 2 years, and this period of time researchers can use to develop a bit more independence and results, which can cause or can result in a grant application, in the best case for Eminator starting group or for ERC starting grant. So all these activities, how our target group can know them, how they can understand what kind of activities we have. We have prepared an online platform called Qualifizierung und Karriere, Qualification and Career. This is a tool to gather all these measures, activities and events which are related to qualification and career. And whoever has an interest or want to have a look what kind of training, workshops and events, networking or career support is offered currently, who can make a find here. We decided to prepare such an online platform 3 years ago to have a good overview of all offers and to make it much more easier for our target group to arrange for the personal further training and to be prepared for the career entry. As my final slide, and before I come to end, I want to tell you it is our mission for a systematic talent management by these 3 steps. So we want to inform our young researchers about career options. For this, we are having career information events. A few of them I have presented you. we want to develop the career of our young researchers by developing individual career goals. This can be done by individual coachings or workshops on career planning or by consultings. And if people have decided for a career path, we want have a targeted competence optimization by specific workshops. So people can choose according to the career path they want to follow, what competence they need to optimize, they need to follow, which competence has still a gap, and can choose specific trainings on their own need. Yeah, I want to thank you very much, and I'm very curious if you are having questions.
Yeah, let me first thank you also for this comprehensive overview of everything that you are doing, which is actually a lot. I was very impressed by the very comprehensive modules that you offer. Also, equally, like, the floor is now open for questions and comments from the group here. Like Defrish, you can start, yes.
It was a really, really nice talk. I really enjoyed every minute of it. So I some questions. So it's really nice to see a university having this kind of modules for R1 and R2 stage researchers. I was wondering if there is any collaboration between the universities in Germany or across Europe that such modules can be applied to other universities, or other universities having their own modules, if they have any, to increase the success for the PhD students or the postdocs.
Yeah, I can only talk for Germany right now. I have a direct or a close contact with other people working in the same field, developing these kind of programs. And what I can say is every university in Germany is designing recently their own programs in order to support young scientists. And this is a very diverse field. Everybody is doing something else. Of course, step by step, there is a more and more structure visible. And people are talking more together, coming together in conferences. Also, this field of science management related to the promotion of young scientists becomes much more professional in the last 5 years. And people start to prepare also programs together. And what you have said, to have modules which are probably recognized in other universities, is very interesting for young researchers. I saw a few colleagues working together. I mean, it's not a structured way that in Germany all universities working together, but there are a few colleagues, maybe 2-3 different universities in one area, working together and preparing or they're offering measures for PhD students and other young researchers. And they have exchange also. For example, we have 1 university or 2 universities close to us, Technical University of Brunswick or University of Göttingen. And there are several collaborations, especially for the Department of Higher Teaching. They are working strongly together with Göttingen, and the people are traveling. Some people come here to Clausthal, attending our offers, and vice versa. And right now, as we are also offering lots of offers as a video conference, this makes it, of course, much more easier. But I think there is not a straight line. I don't know if this answers your question. I mean, there's still, I think, a long way to go to make one whole or one holistic structure for Germany. And for Europe, I cannot talk at all.
I see. But thanks so much for your answer and nice presentation, actually.
Now I have Sebastian and then Anastasia.
So yeah, thanks very much for the nice, interesting presentation. what you mentioned for Germany, of course, with these many different kind of things are being put up at the different universities. It's also one matter of the academic freedom and the institutional autonomy, how this is set up in Germany, right? So this leads to this being a very scattered kind of thing, but with best practices coming up in all places, and this started to align them across universities. That's something I think really nice, and certainly these kind of certificate programs they do help with that. There's one comment though that I for the whole time of the presentation had sort of pushing me that I really need to get this one out as well. So this is a general point that we are from Eurodoc are advocating for, given that those people that are starting with their PhD, that are starting in the R1 phase, already usually have 2 professional degrees. They already have a bachelor's degree, with which they can go out and work in the industry. They have a master's degree, with which they can go out and work in the industry. So calling them students doesn't really fit very well to what they actually do and to the professional background they have. They know this is also relating to many things, how this is arranged in the laws and regulations and so forth. It's the same in other countries, but still our advocacy is that we maybe shift from the term doctoral students to the term doctoral candidates to really highlight that they're in a professional position. They're also hired by contract for professional work. So to showcase this a little bit better, that's one general point that we're trying to bring across, to really show what PhDs are actually worth and what they're actually doing. So thanks very much.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Yeah, I wanted to quickly give you time to respond to that. But I guess it needs work from all sides, so we actually get the system to have that recognition. Anastasia, you can ask the next question.
Yes, I have question, maybe comment. I would like to ask you, because you tell a very interesting story about how you try to promote your young researchers. I have like 2 questions. First, do they participate in Young Researchers Night or just Researchers Night? And second, do you make some publications about your researchers in social networks just to promote them? So like one photo of your researcher and very short about his or her investigation.
Yeah, thank you so much for these questions. Young Researchers Night, I'm not very sure if I understand what you mean. Is it Lange nach der Wissenschaft, Sebastian, or is it something else? Okay. Young Researchers Night, we are having, I think, regularly in Clausthal, and we are contributing as well. The last time we contributed with one part of one webinar related to science communication, what is also one topic, what is interesting for our young researchers. It's not one of our main topics, but we have a few people who are really interested in this topic. And we will have another Young Researchers Night by this November. So right now we didn't decide if we make a contribution, and if we do so, with what we contribute, but probably we will contribute for sure. Related to publication, so far we didn't do any publication.
Okay, thank you. And I would like in this case to invite your PhD candidates and early career researchers. We will have Young Researchers Night during the war, and we have it with foreign partners, foreign young researchers, so it will be in English, and we do publications about all participants in our Facebook. It's really very big coverage, so it's like 30,000 people, young researchers, in our Facebook, and see our publications. Yes, we have 11,000 subscribers, but you know that someone can share publications, so it's very interesting. So maybe I will send Sebastian our invitation, and he will give you So please, you are welcome, because we have a lot of participants from Poland and from Germany as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. This will be a great chance and a great opportunity for our young researchers. And sure, if you can forward the information to us, we will spread it out. Thank you.
Well, that's cool to set up a collaboration like that. Very neat. And yeah, Anastasia, I've told you before, but it's really fantastic what you're doing in terms of outreach. I don't see any hands, so I take the opportunity to ask you one final question, something that am just increasingly interested in also. In the overview graphs that you showed between the different levels and kind of career path, there is always kind of or like many of the arrows go actually in both directions. And there, I mean, and one of the problems, or I think one of the potentials that we in academia aren't using enough at the moment is that, especially on the like R2 and R3 levels, that there could be more exchange between industry and academia, and people can going into the industries, think valuable experiences and knowledge that they gain there, that they could then also then transfer back into academia. I'm just wondering whether you also increasingly are thinking about that, or whether that's at the moment you're still very much focused on kind of fostering the ones that you basically have in the system.
So far we didn't do any focus on that, but this is quite interesting. For us so far it's like this, that we have MSCA scholarship holders, and most of them, they have secondments with industry or other partners outside of academia. I know in Germany there is a special this University of Applied Sciences, which are somehow a bit specific version for the academic career, and for this one it's needed to go out of the academic career path. So what you have to do basically is, after your PhD you go for 5 years in industries, and then you come back to universities of applied sciences, what will qualify you to be a professor in University of Applied Sciences. But I think this is not that what was your question about. What we are right now starting to do is, because we are a technical university and most of our PhD students and postdocs are leaving academia, actually, they don't stay there. We want to plan for a concept for a career path outside of academia. So we are right now trying to collect data for important industries related to the people who are studying here, what kind of industries they are going for, making contact with these industries, and we want to prepare events together with these companies, and also see what kind of competences are needed when people are leaving for these companies. This will be a new program, what we are right now designing with 2 PhD students. But I think it will be not available before next year. So we will start probably by next year with the first events related to that. But this is also not an exchange. I mean, this is just leaving academia.
No, but this is fantastic, because it is the reality that most of the people aren't staying, like they're not pursuing an academic career path afterwards, but they're kind of also really needed talent in the industries out there. So yeah, kind of having a better kind of crossover between the two worlds will definitively help everyone involved. Yeah. And I guess also it's just important for academia to acknowledge that this is what most people will be doing, rather than just focusing on academic career path. Yeah, are there any final questions? Don't think so. I can just agree with Devrish. This was very, very interesting and very insightful. So I can just really thank you for being here and sharing everything that you do. And it is a lot that you're doing at Clausthal University. yeah, sharing with us what you guys are doing. I think it's very useful. As you've also said, I mean, every university at the moment is kind of doing their own thing. So beginning to actually talk about it and starting to share and cooperate, I think is very important. So really a big thank you from us, from Eurodoc, for joining us today. And now I think everyone has to go back to work or lunch. So I wish everyone a very successful afternoon.